Another shot for you to get to L.A. here in a few minutes. Our Alter Ego Festival is going down at the Forum out there on January the 18th. I thought we were all done giving away trips, but no. You still have last-minute opportunities this week, twice a day. You and a pal get out there, see Blink-182 and Billie Eilish, the Black Keys. They've added Coldplay, a lot of other bands to the lineup, too. So that's going to go down in L.A., the Forum on January the 18th. And 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock on this show, at least, are your two chances to win. So your next one coming up in about 7 minutes. Cavs are off tonight. They lost to Minnesota last night. They will host the Pistons tomorrow night. So Detroit at the Romo Fee-Ho, 7 o'clock tip tomorrow night here on MMS. Speaking of Michigan, more specifically Flint, Michigan. Flint Town!
Go Tropics.
Go Tropics, that's right. A lot of people were confused when Kevin Bacon was trending on Christmas Day on social media. And the actor Kevin Bacon eventually tweeted out, "So sorry to hear this, it wasn't him." 25-year-old Kevin Bacon was reported missing on Christmas Day. His car was found outside a Family Dollar with his wallet and his phone and his clothes inside. And they say that he was killed by his Grindr date. He told a friend that he was meeting up with a guy he met on Grindr. Later that evening, he texted his friend, said, "I'm having fun, going to be out for a while." They found his body, and I can't believe that this is the guy. I feel like somebody else, I don't know what, but the dude who killed this guy doesn't look like anybody that the other guy would have matched with. This guy's looks like he lives in the sticks. He's got this long, scraggly beard. And the other kid is a 25-year-old hairdresser and whatever.
I mean, he likes that masculine personality.
Probably wanted
Right.
a bear.
Yeah.
A lumberjack.
They found Kevin Bacon's body in this guy's home. They found him hanging naked from the rafters by his ankles.
Jeez.
And the man had already eaten his testicles.
Oh.
The guy's name was Bacon, I mean. He admitted to stabbing him in the back and then slicing his throat and told the police that he had cut off his testicles before eating them. The month before...
Did he eat them raw or did he prepare them a certain way?
It doesn't say. And no comment as to how they tasted.
Ugh.
But the police had been to this guy's home a month before after a man was seen running from his home with blood on his face wearing only a leather kilt. So this guy liked to party.
This is terrifying.
It's like when they almost
You're
caught...
not gay. You don't have balls. Why are you scared?
Yeah, but this also happens with straight people.
It's like when they almost caught Dahmer.
Every other serial killer.
It's gonna make it about you.
They almost caught Dahmer, in the middle of that whole thing because some kid was running down the street naked, and Milwaukee PD was like, "It's some gay thing. Just send him back in the house." Yeah.
Get back in there.
He's got ranch dressing on his ass. The cops are like, nothing to see here.
I was actually pretty afraid of this in San Diego because I was like, all right, I'm obviously going to taste the city, but I'm going to be safe about it. So I was like, I got to have a friend with me. So we went to the gay clubs. And I met a guy there, danced with him for a little bit. Turns out he was from Warren.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I was like, well, don't want you. Because I was like, you can trace me back to home. I don't want that. And so I talked to this other guy. He was Mexican. He had a work visa. And he's just like, hey, you should come back to my apartment. I'm like, I was like, do you live here? He said, oh, no, I live in Mexico. Instantly, I just turned and just... If
I live in Mexico.
He said, I live in Mexico, but it's like 15 minutes away. I said, nope.
Yeah, it's right across the street.
Yeah, no, not doing that. So he literally followed me everywhere. And he was like my little shadow. So then I had to find another dude to take home. And I was like, I'm going to his house, like after party at his house.
Well, you took a dude home back to the 200 square foot
He went
studio
back to
apartment?
his
To that guy's house.
Oh.
And I took my friend with me. I was like, you're coming with me so I don't get murdered. And
What, your friend Kat?
No, a guy.
Oh, okay.
We were at the gay clubs. And it was on a Wednesday, mind you. And it was like 10 minutes till close. And this guy just comes up to me, bouncing around. I was like, oh, he's definitely on something. But he was like, after party at my house. And him and I would never look at flight attendants the same way because they were all flight attendants and they all were like doing lines of coke like it was nobody's business.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're only in town for a night.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Yeah, that's what they do.
They live there. Like, this was their home, but, like, they do coke all the time. And so when I'm in the room hooking up with the guy, the girl that they're with, that lived with them, all I heard was, sorry, just gonna do a bump. And I'm just there, butt naked, and she's like, And then you're like, hey, sorry, stepping back out. And then 10 minutes later, I'm gonna get another bump. Just shaking the baggie. I go downstairs.
Take it with you.
Yeah, right. Why did she got to do the bump in there? Why can't she?
He had the best surface area, I guess, to do it.
In the room that you were in?
In the room that I was in.
Yeah, why didn't they take it with them?
Did you do a bump?
I did not do a bump. Nope.
Bumps and lines are different, by the way. Anyway, go ahead.
But that's what she said. I'm going to do a bump. And
Well, explain, Mary, to the people like myself who don't do cocaine.
Yeah,
Well, no, you do it like it's a whole line of cocaine. You have flat surface for a bump. You just kind of use a key or whatever, and just a little bit.
I think
So
people
she's
probably
probably
knew
doing
that.
lines. Yeah.
Well, then why'd you make me say it?
It's funny when you cocaine-splain to people.
Well, I needed to know that because I've never.
Was she doing lines or was she doing bumps?
Well, I was kind
Well,
of
she had
occupied.
to come. That's what I'm saying. If she had to come into the room for the surface area,
Yeah.
Sounds like she's doing lines.
yes.
Maybe she wanted to do a
Yeah.
bump off
I
that
didn't
table.
I didn't look
Or
up on the
off of him.
counter.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I did go downstairs, and then there they are. Have one of the roommates just spread out on the counter doing lines off of him. I'm like, oh my
goodness.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, we have to get out of here. I grabbed my friend, and I was like, we got to leave. And then the Uber driver's like, late night or early morning. I was like, doesn't matter. Get me out of here.
That's a flight attendant party.
I would never look at them the same way. I was
You
like,
can take
where
the
do you guys
boy
go?
out of Ohio, but you cannot take the Ohio out of the boy.
That's crazy.
He saw a room full of flight attendants, who are, by the way, famously people with nothing to lose.
Oh yeah, partiers.
And he's freaked out because they're doing cocaine.
I mean, I wasn't freaked out, but like,
Sounds like you were freaked out.
You ran out and jumped in an Uber.
well, I'm just trying to bang. I was like knuckle deep in someone, and then the girl comes in. She's like, "I'm just gonna do a bump." I'm like, okay.
He's like, I'm trying to get a bump too.
Yeah, no, it was lit. But
Have you ever been at a party like that where you have that moment where you look around and you're like, this is too much for me.
I'm too sober for this.
Or this is just too much. Like you walk into a room and there's a naked person and people are doing cocaine off of them. I'm like, it's time for me to go probably. Like
Yeah,
that's
they were like, he's like, I look at you. I'm like, what about me? He's like, touching my face. He's like, do you know who you are? I'm like, Cody Brown. Who are you? He's like, you're Jupiter. I'm like, what is Jupiter?
can't do this.
He's like, Jupiter has so many moons around it. It has the most moons. People just gravitate towards you. You have Jupiter energy. I want to be your friend.
God.
I'm like, oh my God, get me out of here.
Yeah,
Why
that's,
didn't you just-
that's more disturbing to me than the cocaine.
That
and
would make me
everything.
more
cocaine.
angry.
I was at an after party in New York over the summer, and I knew everybody was going to be pretty messed up based on where we were before. And this is like not super early in my sobriety, but I was only a couple months sober. And I walked in and I was like, I don't think I've ever personally witnessed so many different types of drugs being done. It was like anything you wanted. They're like, hey, you want acid? You want this? You want like they had everything. And I was like, this is too much for me to handle. Like I was there for maybe 10 minutes. I had my like little LaCroix that I brought with me, and I was like, I'm gonna go. Like, thanks guys, appreciate you.
I'm gonna take my pamplemousse.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm gonna tip the F out the door.
That's probably the only time I've been like, this is too much for me to handle. Like,
Why
I
didn't
can't.
Why didn't you just dive in, Pot Pie?
He's on the phone.
Oh,
I was actually wondering the same thing. I don't end up in a lot of situations like that because I'm usually just trying to get out of there anyway. Like
Yeah.
I'm not going to anybody's after parties, and so I don't see a lot of people getting naked or doing a bunch of drugs. Like I remember one time after a show in like the Ozarks, there was people that were at the show that I hung out with, and they were pretty.
they like to party in the
They were
Ozarks.
like to party in the Ozarks.
Nothing
and,
else to do.
And I was there, and it was just like, this is a little bit weird because, like, it was fun for a while, but then when they start doing harder drugs, and like I was just like, yeah, I don't want to
uncomfortable.
be.
When people
Because
just
you just feel
do
like
it
an
like it's
accessory and you're not participating.
Right.
You feel unwelcome.
well, because I also think they probably do it so much that it is normal for them.
Yeah.
So they
But when
think
you're
you're
looking
frowning
at-
upon them.
When
like,
you're looking at them like, dude, it is not normal just to smoke a rock like that. Like this is I've never. That's not what you use a bowl for.
Might be for them.
But that's what I'm saying is that they
Yeah.
do it so nonchalantly that I almost would second guess myself, and I'm like, am I the prude? Like, am I the weirdo who doesn't know?
Well, that's
about
why-
it?
And everybody, like, but you know, there's other people at the party that are like, I'm also weirded out by the guy that's casually smoking crack.
Yeah.
That's why I was so like caught off guard because the girl just came in. I was like, homie didn't even lock the door. He didn't even bother. So she must come in a lot and just like she would do a line and then she would look back like, nice, and then and continue. And then she would just walk out of the room, come back 5 minutes later.
That
do
was your
another
opportunity
for a girl.
for a girl.
Oh, she probably
And
would
you
have been
blew it.
down. She would have been down for sure.
She probably would have, but
You were already naked.
is
Yeah.
Coke vagina a thing?
No. I mean, it is, but it's not a bad thing.
Not in the way that you're
It's
thinking.
not like it's not like she can't perform because she's too coked up. If anything, her rhythm will be off. You'll
Just
be fine.
lay there.
Yeah, that was an experience. That was something I was like, wow, sensory overload. Like, people, he didn't care what I did to him. Like, the girls were coming in and they didn't care. I was like, y'all just hippy dippy out here. And then I kind of misspoke because I was like, I was like, you guys are locals here, so you guys let me know. Should I go to Tijuana? And she was just like, well, yeah, why not? I was like, I don't know, just because we take some of theirs, I'm afraid that they're going to take one of ours. And she was like, I'm Mexican, right?
Whoop.
I was just like, sorry, just going to do a bump. Like, I didn't know what to say after that. I was like, oh, well, should I go then? And it was just like crickets, and I was like, okay, change subject.
Hand me my clothes and I'll get out of here and into an Uber. All right, listen. Are you going to find yourself waist deep in naked bodies and cocaine in Los Angeles? I don't know. It's up to you. Possibly. Probably. I don't know. The Forum out there on the 18th of this month is where we're doing our Alter Ego Festival this year. And this week are your last opportunities to win a trip for you and a pal. So good luck.
Hey, it's Rover. Time for your shot at a trip to our iHeartRadio Alter Ego now. Text the nationwide keyword PARTY to the number 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's PARTY to the number 200-200. Good luck from 100 points.
Mm-hmm. No,
So what does Coke Vagina do then?
Nothing.
That's just regular vagina, man.
Regular
It's just
vagina.
regular vagina.
they're at the
but
grog shop on Saturday night.
First one of the year. There you go. Coke vagina is a good way to start it.
They
Okay.
it affects a man. Like, you can get Coke D.
I
but,
know.
like,
That doesn't
Coke
happen.
I know.
vagina is
No
not a
Coke
thing.
V.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I know you can get Coke D because I saw that.
Like, maybe she might have a harder time depending on the girl.
That's what I'm saying. She might just be a little off rhythm.
Yeah.
He's a little too excited bouncing around. but-
For her rhythm. Yeah, I'm sure that'd be a real fun time.
And then one of the guys that
It is.
we went to the gay club with, because there was some friends that we had in the apartment building, they came to the gay clubs with us because they have a whole gay district. He took home a transgender, and he did not know. And I was trying to tell him because I could tell. He was just like,
This
yeah,
was
so-
a.
he
Was
was
this a straight guy or a sus guy?
No,
or?
he was in the Navy, but he was definitely sus, for sure sus.
Yeah.
And trans people ruined everything. And he
Trying
was
to warn
talking.
him.
Yeah, he was talking to this girl, and he kind of like ditched me because the Mexican guy was chasing me all around the club. So I was like, wait, and I was trying to get rid of the Mexican guy, and he just disappeared, and he took her home. And I saw him the next morning. I said, hey, so he's like, I know. I was like, but did you? He was like, no. And I was like, I don't believe you. And he just kind of looked at me and walked away.
Did he do?
I think he did. He didn't
He
admit
says
it,
he
but
didn't.
I believe
There's no
he
shame
did.
in that game. What's the matter?
But I just want him to admit it. There's nothing wrong with
Why?
it, so why don't you admit it?
Maybe he doesn't want to admit it.
But he was clearly like talking to her, making out with her. Like, I just want him to be upfront with it. I'm not going to judge
Do
him.
you
I'm
think
gay.
do you think he picked her on purpose because he maybe knew too
She
that he knew it was a man too?
I don't think he knew at first, but like I think once he like talked to her for a bit, you could clearly tell because the makeup was like really like drawn on. You could tell that she had some like masculine features. And then when you take her home,
to take me home.
like she's there. He's like, well, I already took her home. Might as well. Like I'm
That's
sure.
what I'm saying.
I'm sure he did. And he
I'm
was
saying maybe he knew and he is gay and that's why he picked her.
that too. He was so gung ho to go to the gay club. So I'm like, Navy
Yeah, he
boy.
knew what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. If only we had Donnie to consult. For no particular reason. Just, because
Seems
we
like
haven't
something he'd know.
we haven't heard from him in such a long time. All right, well. Alan, that Kevin Bacon guy, they are only 6 people away from finding the killer. Here we go. Listen. Oh, come on. I mean, it's, what are you going to do? It's an awful, awful, terrible story.
6 degrees of separation between his.
Also, they found the killer.
Yeah, they did. They did.
know
But
the
was he the real
guy.
killer?
And also, if it were here, like when I got on Grindr there, I saw porn stars. And I'm like, here I would think it was a bot, but over there,
They're real.
they
That's
were
them.
real because he had a link to his Instagram and like you could verify that it was him. I was like, this is amazing. The land of opportunity.
Someone
for gay
tried to
people.
catfish me with a gay porn star. I matched with them on Bumble. I was
Oh,
like,
well-
this guy's too hot.
What-
And then, like, I did the most minute amount of research that you could do, and it popped up on Twitter. I was like, come on, man. Like, try a little bit harder.
Even you
like,
can find a gay
he
porn
used,
star.
He used the porn star's name.
What was the
Like,
name?
Chad something. I don't remember the last name, but I just plugged the name
Chad
into
Carson?
Twitter. Maybe he was so hot, and I was like, "This guy's way too hot to be matching with me." And I plugged it in. Instagram, it didn't show up, and then it showed up on Twitter. And the guy had tweeted that day from like an airport somewhere, some airport in California. And I messaged the guy. I'm like, "Dude, do at least a little bit more. Like, just try to cover it up. If you're gonna be this, if you're gonna catfish people, try a little bit harder. Don't use a famous porn star's picture, and his name at that."
Yeah.
So, did you tell this person, you know what, because of the lengths to which you wanted to go to meet me, I'll meet you somewhere. Let's see what
Me?
you...
No.
Yeah. Let's see what you really
No, I
look
yelled at him
like.
and then I blocked him.
Let's see what you really look like.
Was it a dating app?
Yeah, it was Bumble.
Bumble.
When was this? A while ago?
Yeah,
Okay,
at least a year ago.
I can never keep track of when you're on the app.
I
or
have
off
not
the
been on the
apps.
app
Okay.
since like June. I re-downloaded them to prove my friend wrong a couple weeks ago, and that was it. I wasn't even on those recreationally.
What was really cool though is before I left, like the night before, the night of our last show of the year, I got on Grindr, and you can do Grindr Explorer where you can like put yourself in another city and message people that you don't even like.
You're not even there yet?
Yep. So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be in the city at this time. Like, we should meet up somewhere and grab a drink.
You're getting advanced D?
I had people lined up
He's
before I
setting it
got
up
there.
before he even gets there.
He was like, where,
at you.
like what part of the town are you in? I'm like, I'm in East Village. Where are you? Like the place where we stayed was really like nice. We stayed right across from the architect that designed the San Diego library. Like, have you ever seen like their sculpture that they have on top of the library? We stayed right across from his house. It was pretty badass.
The San Diego Library.
Yeah.
All right.
But it was like a multi-million-dollar house, and when you see the garage open up, it's just like, I don't know, it's balling. I've never seen that many rich people in one area. It's pretty cool.
So will you be returning to San Diego at some point?
Oh no, my gays are gone. They're in Vegas now. So.
Oh, you
they're
only
like
went
traveling
because
nurses,
they were...
right?
Yep, the next stop is Vegas, and Vegas will be a lot cheaper than San Diego because it's a cheap city and it's a cheap flight. Because
How long are they in each one of these cities?
3 months, just 90 days.
3 months.
90-day assignment.
Wow.
So I think that also...
What a cool life.
Yeah, that also weighed into why everything was so expensive because they need a 3-month lease, and so they have 2 cats. So it was...
I can't believe they can find anyone to give them a 3-month lease.
A lot of places do month to month in bigger cities like that.
Huh.
Yeah.
But yep, so now they're
I'm
in
more
Vegas.
surprised they took the cats with them.
They have them.
Carting around cats every 3 months.
They were
Man, that's
just-
gotta
that'd be
be.
annoying.
They have a cat carrier, like almost like how you carry a baby.
They have to be
walk
the
around
most
city.
chill cats. Every time I go to even put my cat in the carrier, she loses her mind.
Best you can hope for is that they just get lost in one of these cities.
No. Have you seen Homeward Bound? They'll make their way back.
You know how many cats died in the making of that movie?
None. Sally Fields.
No, like
is
a
the
lot,
only
a
cat.
A
No,
lot
wait, no,
of
it was-
animals.
It was Milo and Otis. That's the one where...
Yeah, Milo and Otis.
Yeah, that's the one where they killed a lot of cats.
Purposely?
Yeah, they were doing stunts, and the stunts would go wrong, and then they go, okay, we need a new Milo.
I don't think it was an American production.
Yeah, it was a
There was
Japanese or
no
something.
animals were harmed in the making of this film. I guess technically killing an animal isn't harming it, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's pretty harmful.
Is it?
Yeah.
If it's
Yeah.
not like need to be put out of its misery, it's not like a horse with a broken leg or something.
Well, yeah,
Like-
after it hurts itself, it
Yeah.
needs to be put out of its misery. That's the trick, right? You got to make sure that it needs to be put out of its misery, and then you go, we did the only humane thing we could do.
Mercy
We
kill.
shot that tiny cat right between
No,
the eyes.
stop.
What? That's not me. I didn't make the movie. What are you
Sorry.
chastising me for?
Just gonna get a bump in between the eye.
All right. Let me break. You want to get the last word in? Send me a text, 35192, and we will be back after these.
It's the Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS. And everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio app. You made it. 2020 is here.